During times of economic uncertainty or a recession, companies are going to be more cautious in terms of their hiring, their spending, and activities related to money because they want to make sure that they can be sustainable, survive through potential crashes or survive through potential storms that may be along the horizon. And the whole goal is to be able to survive past those storms, but more importantly, to become profitable, to remain profitable in the end, that they can sustain their practices, sustain their businesses in the long term. So if you're somebody who is looking for an executive position, and it is during a time of economic uncertainty or recession, what I want to do is share with you in this video some ways that you can be able to have and find those executive positions. So we're going to have a fire chat conversation here, and it's going to be a very intimate and close conversation that I'm going to have with you, because what I'm going to be doing is giving you some executive coaching advice. And this is, by the way, the same advice that I give to my coaching clients, my executive coaching clients. Now, because of the nature of a YouTube video, I may not be able to get into the details of how to do this, but I am going to be able to share the high level of what to do. Right? So here's what it looks like when it comes to finding an executive position during economic uncertainty or recession. The key is to realize it's not about finding a position, because I mentioned before, companies are going to be cautious. They're going to be cautious about hiring and spending expenditures as well. And hiring is an expenditure because there's a lot that goes into hiring. There's the job posting, there is the hiring onboarding, there is the new person's salary as well. So then it may not be conducive and productive for you to look for postings for executive positions during times like this. Instead, it's not about finding them. It's about creating alignment for them. So alignment means to understand from the company, potential companies that you may want to work with or work into. The key is to understand what is their market-centric mission. The market-centric mission. Where are they going? What's their destination? And what's their progress towards that destination? And what are their major bottlenecks, challenges, and problems that are standing in the way of making that progress? And the key is, when you do understand these key areas that I just listed, the key is to understand what are the challenges and problems that you are most inspired to work with. Because the key is, you are going to be an executive. You're an aspiring executive. And it's due time that instead of letting the job postings choose and dictate your career path, it's due time that you make a design and design that masterful destiny. What does that look like? What are the problems and challenges you want to choose to have in your career path that you want to be working with on a daily basis that are inspiring to you, that are truly aligned with who you are and the values that you truly have? So once you have that creates the internal alignment for yourself. Then the next step is to be able to articulate how that creates alignment for the individuals in which that are going to have authority and decision-making authority to hire you as an executive. Now, before I continue onwards on how to create the external environment, the intrinsic environment is so important. To be aligned within yourself that these are the problems and these are the challenges that I am willing and able to solve for a particular company. And the reason why is because if you will choose the problems and challenges you want to dedicate your career path to, this is going to be your path, your most inspired career path. The reason why is because if it is in alignment with who you are and your values, you're going to be focused, you're going to be disciplined, and you will increase your probability of achieving it, of being able to solve those problems. However, the opposite is true. If you are letting the marketplace, if you're letting job postings, if you're letting external circumstances and situations dictate to you what problems and challenges that you're going to be solving in your career path, you're going to be the opposite. You're going to be less inspired, less focused, less disciplined, and therefore less optimized at achieving that outcome. So that's always the first step, is creating that intrinsic alignment. Then once the intrinsic alignment is established, now it's about creating the extrinsic alignment, the alignment with those decision-making, with individuals with decision-making authority. So when you're in front of them, this is about how can you articulate what is the problem that you are trying to solve? Why that problem? And why now? That's really important. Why the problem and why now? So this is now building a business case on this particular challenge, this particular issue right now, especially during economic uncertainty and or recession, because they're cautious, they're more cautious. So they got to understand why now, why that problem, what is the business case? Being sensitive to the fact that their cautiousness is sound given the economic uncertainties. So when you are able to articulate that very clearly, now you're going to get them to be connected to this problem as it stands to how it's going to help them to achieve what they're dedicated to in their business. But more importantly, this is about juxtaposing how your proposal to a solution is going to help them to fulfill what's most important to them. Now, this is also important. When you're articulating your proposal to a solution, it's important to be able to articulate it in terms of what they value most, in terms of what is most important to them, the person who has decision-making authority. And when you're articulating the solution, keep in mind that you have your own intellectual property. You don't want to give it all away, because otherwise, why would they need you? So when you're articulating your solution, it's important that you reflect on it and share the what, but not the how. What are you going to do? What are the steps? What are the strategies to solve that particular bottleneck, challenge, or problem? What are they? And therefore, in order to help them with the how, the implementation, the execution, this is where they need to bring you on board. So these are the steps, and the onus and the responsibility is on you to create the internal and the external alignment. Both of those alignments are your responsibility. And the other tip in terms of articulating your solution is to be able to demonstrate through your articulation, through your narrative, to be able to demonstrate how solving the problem, dedicating your career path to solving the problem, is going to help you achieve your own dreams and goals, both personally and professionally. And the reason why this is important is because they want to know that you're enthusiastic. They want to know that they're going to bring on someone who's serious and not just curious about working for them. They want to know that they're going to bring on an executive who is committed and not just interested. There is a difference. There's a difference between being interested in working for your company and being committed in working for your company. And when they're hiring, especially in an economic uncertainties, they want to have a little bit more certainty in who they're bringing on, especially if they're cautious around hiring. So being able to have the skills to articulate this aspect of it is going to be really important, because that's how you demonstrate your commitment and your seriousness, not just being interested and not just being curious. Because being curious and interested doesn't necessarily mean you're committed. Right? And finally, once you have articulated all of these steps and built your narrative, also being able to create the intrinsic and extrinsic alignment, finally, when you close the conversation, that particular interaction, close with a call to action. A call to action is nothing more than being able to tell them, share with them, what exactly do you want them to do as a result of this interaction? Right after this interaction is over, what exactly do you want them to do? Now, let me give you an example of a call to action. And this is going to have a double meaning here. So here's an example of a call to action. For example, now you have learned the steps in which how you can find an executive position by creating alignment intrinsically and extrinsically. I've also shared with you the tips on how to juxtapose your own personal and your professional goals and dreams to create a business case, a very strong business case to the people with decision-making authority. So I've told you what to do, but if you're somebody who's serious about creating this for yourself and having the skill set to be able to communicate it effectively and get that buy-in so that you can get hired as an executive, if you're serious about that outcome in your career path, then I invite you to click the link below this video in the description, and that is a link to apply for an opportunity to work with me as your coach. And as your coach, I'm going to walk you through the process every single week, provide training, support, guidance as well on exactly how do you position yourself as an executive? How do you create that alignment? How do you articulate the value of what you have to bring so that they can see it from their perspective? Now, only if you're serious about this, creating this outcome for yourself, click the link below, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Right? And that is a real call to action. So when you close your interaction at the moment, what is your call to action? What do you want them to do? I've just demonstrated my call to action to you. So if you are serious, click the link below, and I look forward to working with you on the inside. Now, given all of the steps that I shared with you, all the tips and strategies that I've shared with you in this video, all of it is your responsibility, and the key to wrap it all together is to do all of this while managing your emotions so that you're not saying something that you regret or that you wished you said differently. To be able to manage your emotions in that moment so that you have self-governance. You can be present with calmness and composure, no matter what questions they throw your way, or no matter how many clarifying questions they ask you, that you can maintain that composure. All with it, this is about self-mastery. So if you're somebody who wants a little bit more support, I have another video coming up, and this is a video where I'm going to share with you some five little known strategies on how you can ace the executive job interview. So let's say you move forward and you're able to figure this out yourself and somehow you get to that job interview. The next video coming up is going to show you how do you prepare for that interview and how do you pass that interview. So that video is coming right up next. I'll see you there.